Hi everyone, I'm Steffi D.
And I'm Lisa H.
And welcome to Check-In From Away.
This week we are checking in with the Come From Away Australia company.
Thanks for joining us. Hey Lisa, guess what?
What?
Do you want to hear why I am so jealous today?
Yeah, what's happening? Tell me.
Have you heard that Come From Away has resumed performances in Australia? How jealous am I?
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous as well, but I'm so excited because we are chatting with the cast and creative team of Come From Away Australia today.
And we're about to find out what the challenges of putting together a show in the middle of a global pandemic looks like. Lisa, my goodness, do I miss theater?
Okay, let me ask you this, Steffi. Mervish Productions calls you up and they say, you have 3 days to learn the show and then you're going to be in front of an audience. Could you do it?
You know what, Lisa? Challenge accepted. I think I could do it. Like 3 days, day and night. I'll like review all the things, the chairs, the numbers, my lyrics, my lines, the accent. I'm ready to go.
All right. You know what? I think we should get going and check in with some of these guys.
Let's check in from away.
Hi there, my name is Richard Hines and I am the associate choreographer for Come From Away, the musicale. Hi, I have been with the show for every second that it has sort of had a version. So that was La Jolla, Seattle, DC, Gander Concert, Toronto, pre-Broadway, Broadway, you guys Toronto, North American tour, London, Australia.
Woo! Woo!
Well, hello, everyone. I am Cherise Hamilton, and I play Hannah and others in the Australian company of Come From Away.
Hi, I'm Zoe Gertz, and I play Beverly Bass and others in Come From Away Australia.
And I'm Philip Lowe, and I play Nick and others in Come From Away Australia.
Okay,
and we're married.
Oh, yes, I'm married.
Married.
I was going to say first things first. You both, like, are you in a bubble together? What are you doing next to each other on Zoom right now with no mask on?
Well, I brought one along just in case.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We have merchandise. I don't know if you can see that. It says Come From Away Down Under. We have actual official Come From Away mask merchandise now. So
This was an opening night present from our lovely producers. So
Hey, I'm Luke Hunter and I'm the musical director here in Australia for the Australian production of Come From Away.
What I miss most, I mean, beyond creating art, is just the energy of a theater. Like last night, I was at a sold out performance of a new musical called Fangirls, and the energy in the building and watching people be entertained. And I was like, I miss that energy, that electricity. And I have no doubt that many of our colleagues around the world miss going to theater and sharing in that experience. So it's nice because it's sort of like we give it to them and we love doing that and they love receiving it from us. So I feel like what I've witnessed here, when that comes back together, it's fireworks. It's just fireworks in the theater.
I think what I missed is the communal feeling of like even when you go to a movie theater, when you go and sit in the theater, you can feel the energy of other people and people laughing at the same thing and sighing and gasping at the same thing. I missed that. I missed that feeling of being connected in that moment with people that you don't know, but in that moment you all have something in common. I really, really, really missed that about performing and being on stage and sharing that energy as well. It's just, that is a feeling that you can only get from live theater. So not having that was like, oh, it's hard.
being with like-minded people, I mean, it's hard enough. It's hard enough trying to deal with muggles on at the best of times, you know. But when you're away from like-minded, inspirational people for such a long time, that's the hardest.
Yeah, well, we're weirdos and we were missing people that were our kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy in the world, but our kind of crazy we were really missing for sure.
I think I miss the community of people, and I missed that sort of the value that we put on what we do as a living and how that sort of integrates into our own sort of self-identity, I guess. I think the benefit of not having done it for so long is that now I don't feel like my job is as closely locked into my like personal identity, and I think that's probably a good thing, I guess. But it was sort of nice to go back into the rehearsal room and you think, oh yeah, this is my skill set and I'm good at this and I enjoy doing this and these are the people that I like working with. And so I think I missed having that kind of sense of self-worth that comes from doing something that you enjoy doing and are good at doing.
The changes that we experienced were much more on the outside. But, once we got into the room, we had to do temperature checks and weekly testing and wear our masks until we were in our bubble. But it oddly became very familiar once we were in our bubble, because the show that we have on stage here in Australia is the exact same show that we have in Toronto. We didn't have to change anything. I mean, they're obviously super aware of wiping down chairs and props and the cleanliness of the show internally, but the show that we're delivering every night is the same show. So when we got into rehearsals, us as American creatives coming in, we had a very sort of different energy because it was a bit more aggressive in our country than it was here. And they were all a little more relaxed, but it's that interesting moment of when you see somebody, you're like, can I hug you? Like, I just want to hug you so bad right now. And so it started with like the elbow bumps. And then once we were sort of like in, and we had all gotten on our same cycle in regards of testing, and it just became like an instant family. And because our show is so compact, you don't feel like you get lost in the rehearsal room with hundreds of people and you're sort of on edge about who's who. It's our 8 standbys and our stage management team and music. And it's just a tight little bubble. But in terms of putting the show together, it's the show we all know and love.
To get back into the country, the production team had to work tirelessly to try and figure out how we were going to get an exemption to get in. And then we had to do a 2-week quarantine if you were coming in. So that was rough. Again, happy to do it because if it's keeping people safe, let's go. But it was very odd to wake up every day and do like 10 squats for a stranger so that they could make sure that my lungs weren't filling with fluid. Like, it was just like, this is bizarre. But then actually getting together again, remembering to wear your mask when you're just like running through the halls, but then also taking them off for the first time in that big group of people was bizarre. I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, is this, can we do this?
Philip joining the show. Well, the Zoom auditions happened, I guess, at a time where we didn't know when we'd be coming back to the show. And it was all over Zoom. It was like moving the couch and everything out of our living room and me hiding in the bedroom while Philip was auditioning. And the Americans not knowing that he was my husband, which was a bit cute as well.
Yeah, they had no idea. Our musical director, Luke Hunter, he knew, because I've known him for a long time, and he's known Zoe as well for a long time. So he kept quiet, and he was during my final callbacks, he was kind of giggling because he was sort of picking up on a vibe that they were liking what I was serving up. And then afterwards, they expressed, they said they liked me, and then Luke let the panel know that that's Zoe's husband. And so it was all very well kept secret, I think.
Yeah, and then we couldn't tell anyone for months because they weren't going to announce that there were new cast coming when they couldn't even announce when the show was happening.
I think the biggest challenge is the amount of planning that you do, not knowing with any certainty whether any of those plans are going to work. And the planning must have been rewritten, I don't know how many times. Like, there were so many versions of the schedule that could have happened, that didn't happen, that you sort of had to learn the skill of flexibility and know that you're planning to start on this date, but it might be a week later, it might be 3 weeks later, or it might be a month later. And to be honest, I was convinced that we weren't going to be back rehearsing in December. So when all that planning happened for December, I was like, we did all the planning, but I was absolutely convinced that it wasn't going to happen. So when it did actually happen, I felt completely unready for it, despite like having spent 8 months going, oh, for crying out loud, let us get back. When they actually pressed the go button, I was like, wait, 10 days, it's not enough time. So it was surprising to me to be caught unawares by it a little bit too.
We have all seen such pain and sorrow in the past year, more than we probably have ever all seen in one collective lump of time. And you feel that energy, especially as it gets to the later part of our show, because I feel like everyone knows loss within the past year, whether it's very direct or 2 steps away. So I think a moment where, we get to some of those heavier moments that feel slightly more reflective as to something that happened back then, it hits in a very different way because we have seen that around the world. And then, of course, the amazing side of it, too, is the human kindness that has come out of this, where, some of our cast were telling us, they were like, I've lived by my neighbors for years and I've never talked to them. And now we see each other because they were their bubble for, months. They would like open their window and look across. That was all they could see. So the story feels more relevant now than it has ever, and I think it's a perfect story to come out of a pandemic with.
The sense of community and doing things and making sacrifices that are for everyone and not just for you is essential in getting beyond this pandemic. And it brings that whole come from away spirit of like helping when you can and being ready to do whatever you can for your fellow human being. I don't know if that's necessarily like new wisdom. It's just like, come on now, like this is how it should be. Like, look out for each other. Do something that doesn't always directly benefit just you.
The extra resonance about this show being having the nature that it does, it just made it more important, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Like in these troubled times, it's the perfect show. Yeah.
Opening night was very emotional because we were thinking of you all and feel definitely a great sense of responsibility to do this and do it well for everyone, because I feel like we're sort of creating because we're the first ones back, we're trying to create this template so that when all you guys are back, that you'll be able to follow. But yeah, we just love you and we're thinking of you, and I'm actually quite emotional seeing you both today because it's what a time, huh?
The audience reaction is still absolutely there at the end of the show. I think because they, that desire to show their appreciation at the end because they haven't been able to for the 100 minutes still overrides any restriction that they feel by sitting down and having a mask on. So they still jump up, they still are applauding. When I'm standing on chair 7 and the blackout happens, you still hear the roar of the crowd. That's still absolutely there, yeah.
Would you rather fall in love on an island at the age of 60 in the midst of one of the worst events in North American history and leave your love after 5 days, never knowing if you would ever see her again, or have never left England, gotten on the plane, or been part of it at all?
Love is the answer. To love and lose is much more preferable to have never loved at all. Of course.
Would you rather be able to play Heave Away on the accordion perfectly for the rest of your life, or Be able to play 100 songs on the piano, but play them really badly for the rest of your life.
Oh, do I only get, so I never play the piano again?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, just either or. Oh, I'm gonna take 100 bad songs on the piano.
Would you rather perform Come From Away in Spanish for a sold-out audience with 24 hours notice, or call 800 cues in the show with 5 minutes notice?
Spanish.
Spanish? Can you speak Spanish, Ricky?
Very little, but my sister is a Spanish teacher, so I know I have that support on the other side there.
Would you rather have to fly 38 planes every month for the rest of your life, or spend 28 hours on a plane every week for the rest of your life?
Ooh, I would go with spend 28 hours on a plane every week for the rest of my life, because you know they've got those mini bar things, you can have a little drink. I mean, can I be in first class for that 28 hours?
Would you rather be screeched in every day for the rest of your life, or never have a drink again?
Oh, I could totally be screeched in. Kiss a fish, I eat fish, whatever.
True or false? Heave away means throwing up.
True.
Would you rather have all the blankets in the world or all the bedding in the world?
Oh, blankets. Maybe some food. But seriously, blankets. I love a good blanket. You can make bedding out of blankets.
Would you rather be able to sing Me in the Sky perfectly for the rest of your life, but it's the only song you can sing? Or be able to sing 100 songs really badly for the rest of your life?
Oh, look, given that my husband is now in Come From Away as well, and I might be doing this until I'm like 85, I'm going to go with singing Me in the Sky perfectly.
Would you rather drink a whole bottle of Screech in a span of an hour, or have to dance and perform Heave Away for 5 consecutive hours for the entire world, including Kelly Divine?
I love Kelly. She has seen me do that choreography so many times. I would take the Screech challenge, I think.
Would you rather stop the world or take a picture?
I'd just take a picture. I would think.
Explain.
I don't know. I mean, I stop the world. Do you mean that I'm now God, or in what context am I stopping the?
You're actually COVID-19.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Lisa, would you rather, let's see, have to learn Steffi's track or learn to play the accordion?
Okay, I think I would learn to play the accordion.
Don't take that personally. You have 5 minutes until showtime. We are down. You either have to call the show or play the role of Claude. What do you do?
Okay, I think, like, no offense, Lisa, but hands down, I want to play Claude. We do like a gender bender Claude, and I think I could pull it off. Like, I think.
Yeah.
And if you came out in that stunning dress to sing Welcome to the Rock, I think you would have the audience on your side right away. I think we've all been so saturated with such brilliant online content and TV and film, and we all have absorbed as much of it as we possibly can. People are so hungry for that human experience, and to be in a theater and to put on a pretty dress and have a reason to go out and hear an applause and be in that I feel like, look, our art form has been through many pandemics way before any of us were ever alive. It's still here, and it will come back because people need it. They need it to survive.
There's just so much gratitude from the audience that it's happening, that they're seeing live theatre again. we're not really allowed to do the whole stage door thing anymore because it's not safe, but we have people contacting us constantly, just, just being so grateful to be there. But yeah, there's been lots of tears and just practicing daily gratitude, I think, for everyone here. That we've even had moments where, we've just stopped and had a hug in the kitchen and been like, gosh, even if it all falls apart, at least we've had this moment today that we get to do this. So
the audience have been just really hungry for something life affirming, and that's what this show is in essence. So people who do sort of meet us on the street are just so thankful, and it was just so wonderful, and there's a real hunger for it.
Coming back, you do see the show in a slightly different light because of the experience that you've had. And I think for people coming back to the show and revisiting it as people working on it and people recommitting to it as audience members, you will experience the show through the prism of the experience that you've been through, and that is interesting and revealing and sometimes confronting and sometimes really beautiful and always unexpected. I think, there have been moments of this that I think, oh yeah, I understand what that is, and then unexpectedly you get really choked up about something, or you realize that has it has a reflection on something that happened to you in the time that you were away from it. So I think be prepared for those, but allow them to happen, because they're, that reconnection to the show is sort of what makes it even more special now for some reason, I think.
I, as a performer, felt changed saying some of these words. It feels different, and the energy just felt different. It was, I know our first preview performance was very emotional. We our associate director Danny and associate choreographer Ricky, they made a speech seconds before we went on, and we were all just like and people at the end leapt to their feet, were in tears. It was very emotional, I think, for everyone. I'm getting kind of emotional just like remembering it, just like people care. People still care about live theater, and they showed up. Sorry, I'm getting really
No, I love it.
It was incredible to see that people worked this hard to make sure that they could still enjoy art and support art. That first night was unbelievable.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Check-In From Away.
Chukas, Australia.
Cheers.
At one time, we will not cry. At one time, we had 5 companies of Come From Away all running simultaneously around the world.
Fun fact about our show, David Hine and Irene Sankoff have 5 clocks on the wall of their office, one for each city where the show is playing, so they always know when the curtain was going up. Right?
The Broadway production of Come From Away shut down on March 11th, 2020. The North American tour followed on March 12th, Toronto on March 13th, and then London and Melbourne on March 15th.
It has been... this is going to be fine. It's going to be okay. It has been 309 days since there was a performance in public of Come From Away.
That is 62 times as long as the plane people were stranded in Newfoundland.
And for about 182 of those days, the people of Melbourne have lived through one of the toughest and longest lockdowns in the world.
And it's entirely because of your sacrifices that we are here today. Thank you.
Your perseverance through this crisis, your ability, like the Newfoundlanders, to put others' safety in front and needs in front of your own, your kindness to your neighbors and fellow Melburnians are an example to the world especially to those of us on the team from the UK and the US, and for that we are all eternally grateful.
And with that, it's our honor and thrill to give you Melbourne, Australia, Come From Away.